So, practicing ruins your ability to perform and play in front of others. It should be the other way around, right? It should be the more you practice, the better you get at playing in front of others and actually playing music. But that's not the case, because there's a trap in there that is really, really annoying. And if you're not careful, and if you're not doing what I'm going to tell you to do, you will absolutely stand on the stage and you will feel that everything you usually do when you practice is going to hinder your ability to perform. What are we doing? Well, it's because of a pattern that I hope you have in your brain already. That when you practice, that you try to play something, right? And then every time you make a mistake, you stop and go, oh, what did I do? Why did I fail, right? And how can I, do better, right? So let's say you're trying to do a chord progression, right? You're trying to play like a chord or whatever, and then suddenly you play a wrong chord, and then you look at your notes, right? And you look at, oh, it was not an A minor 7, it was a D minor 7, right? That whole pattern of try, evaluate, and then try again, and fail, evaluate, do it right, play it again, fail, evaluate, makes you stop every single time you do a mistake. Let's say you're soloing, right? That's a very good example, and you're really, into it. Oh, I hit the wrong note, right? Shoot, right? And every time I fail, then I stop. So pretty soon, because the brain really likes pleasure and really wants to avoid pain, every time you play something wrong, that's pain. Is right? It sounds weird, and it's also I want to get it right. That kind of response, right? That becomes a habit. It becomes an ingrained pattern in your brain, really, and it goes deep. The more hours you practice, the more mistakes you make, right? The more repetitions you get in, the more the brain gets used to stopping every single time it makes a mistake. And that's not bad in every situation, right? It's not bad. But when you try to perform, then you get on stage, right? You want to kick that and then what happens? As soon as you make a mistake, you stop. And it's a surefire thing. And then you go, now you're not just making a mistake at home where nobody can hear you. Now, 30,000 people is listening, or, 100 or 50, whatever, right? So it really is like, But the way to get out of that pattern, it's one of the things that makes us really nervous to perform in front of others, because we know intuitively we can't run the normal pattern. And now, this is the time where I'm playing flawlessly. It's wrong. Also wrong, man. And that's just, it's a nightmare, right? But the way to get over that and the way to break that pattern in the brain is to practice performing. So you stand up, strap on your guitar, and then you actually allow yourself to make mistakes without stopping. And the whole thing about the standing up, that is a physical way of breaking the pattern. So now everything is changed. The fretboard looks different, i.e. you cannot see it because you're standing up and you're looking from down the neck from this here, right? So it's a good idea to stand up as well. So you actually practice performing. But what you do now is that you've shifted the environment of the body, the way it feels, and now you're in performance mode. And in performance mode, we're allowed to make mistakes, and we use those mistakes, right? So if I play this note, right, in my first position minor pentatonic in A, then I use it. Right? So I'm using it because I'm unafraid, and I'm open to whatever happens, right? And I might even deliberately make mistakes when I'm soloing and standing up in order to really break that pattern in the brain and say, that's a fine practicing pattern, right? You want to evaluate and you want to get better, right? But when I'm performing, that's a totally different state. I play whatever I, want. And if I hit a note that I didn't count on, then I'm going to use it. I'm actually going to use it, as Bob Ross, the painter, said, there are no mistakes. There are only happy accidents. Right? So whatever happens on the canvas, right, you use it and say, that's a tree, right? Or whatever, right? And you do the same thing here. And I really mean that, because if you are totally 1000% confident and you're using everything you play for something, use it, paint around it, then it's not a mistake anymore, right? That note, we can discuss whether or not that sounds great, but I can use it. Right? And now I started something, so now I'm gonna use it. Right? So, and that's important. It really is, and that will set you free, because now you can go on stage and you can make mistakes and you can use them. So there aren't really any mistakes, right? Also, the last thing I want to tell you, if you really want to break open this, then you want to imagine people in the audience, and then you want to just go, and then you want to go look at them and play the mistake again and make a funny face. So you imagine that it is allowed. People are not going to kill you when they hear a mistake. They're not going to think anything negative about you. If you laugh, if you look at them and go, whoops, right, then it's going to be okay, right? It's humor, it's fun. And then you just continue. That's going to it's going to look like strength when you do that. So you do that with an imaginary audience, right? That was it for now. My name is Claus Levin, and I really sincerely hope you'll subscribe if you like this video in any way. And like it, like and hit the bell icon and all of that. See you in the next video.